And you are listening to Paranoid Times. Yeah, all right, guys, and welcome to Paranoid Times Radio. And we broadcast Monday through Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Crazy Wolf Radio Network. So you can tune in there, and thanks for joining in. Tonight's show, Santa Claus, Santa Claus, and the New Age Live. Now, what is that? What is that little story we're all told, my friends? From Mr. Clement Clark Moore. A visit from St. Nicholas. Now, interestingly, that you might know, how many of you will know this by its title? A visit from St. Nicholas. Was the night before Christmas, when all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even the mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas, didn't say Santa Claus, St. Nicholas, soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, with visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window, pardon me, away to the window, I flew with a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast and of the new fallen snow. So much symbolism in here, man, if you really read this deeply. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow. The gay bluster of the midday to objects below. When what to my wondering eyes would appear, but a miniature sleigh, so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. And he whistled and he shouted and he called them by name, these ain't 8 tiny reindeer. It's interesting, he talks about a tiny sleigh and tiny reindeer. Why are they tiny? Now, Dasher, now, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away, all. Yeah, that's right, guys. This is BS. This is BS. Mr. Clement Clark Moore. We'll be getting back into more In this new age deception as far as the Santa Claus, the Santa Claus. How many of us, oh God, I gotta go to bed early. I learned about this bullshit at 5 years old. I learned about this at 5 years old. When I saw my grandfather and grandmother going up into the attic to get Christmas presents. I was like, oh yeah, Santa Claus there. but my friends, that is to the side. Because really, what is this? Like I said tonight, my friends, the Santa Claus deception and the New Age lie. Now, Santa Claus, where do we get this guy? Where does he come from? What does he have? What if anything? What if anything does he have to do with Christmas? Now, an even deeper question, what does he have anything to do with Yeshua ben Yosef, Jesus, son of Joseph? We will examine that here tonight on the show, and we're going to go deep, man. Let's go back to the original, the Siberian shamans. Now, the Siberian shamans are very interesting individuals, my friend, extremely interesting individuals. Some of these words tonight are mine. Some of them are those of the authors. The origin of Santa Claus is actually the shamans of Siberia. Now, I will differ from this author by saying it goes deeper than that. But let's look at the words of this author. The shaman is said to be dressed in red furs with white trim, much like the outfit we associate with Santa Claus. The shaman had responsibility of harvesting Amanita muscaria. This is the classic mushroom, my friends, that you will see in the whole Alice in Wonderland thing. Big red mushroom, white spots, yes, make you laugh, make you see things, make you puke, so forth and so on. The shamans dried the mushrooms, taken from the base of the conifer tree, an evergreen tree. On the tree taken from the base of the conifer tree on the tree where it was collected. This is given as evidence that this mushroom used as Christmas tree ornaments later evolved into Christmas tree presents being placed under the Christmas tree. Now, let me explain to you the whole, we're going to go deep tonight, guys. We're just beginning this. We are on the edge of the veil, so listen in. The Siberian shamans. Now, granted, Saint Nicholas, he would have known about this. But would he? Or would there have been another individual? But, before we get into that, let's talk about the Siberian shamans. This is what happened, guys, around the winter solstice, and still to this day, among a certain tribe of the Siberian shamans. They would. Okay, here's what goes on. They go out right before 3 days before the 25th, on the winter solstice. Okay? Go out to collect the mushrooms. Now, these guys are deer herders, as well as they use them. They are reindeer herders, as well as they use them for transportation, clothing, to put on the side of their yurts, their structures, so forth and so on. Meat, food, blah. But these Siberian shamans, they would take their reindeer and go out to do the harvesting of the Amanita muscaria, what some might call the fly agaric mushroom. Under the green evergreen tree, it was red with white spots. Think about the color scheme then. Red, green, white, the whole Christmas color scheme. And as they would go along on these different trees that they found these Amanita muscaria on, they would trace their path. And, they would hang these mushrooms. They would hang these mushrooms on the boughs of these evergreen trees. Now, a very interesting thing, now we're getting into the red sparkly ornaments. What about the golden? Think about it, guys, the Christmas tree, which that is a very interesting thing within itself, which we'll get into, but the golden, we've all decorated a Christmas tree, and we have seen those golden ornaments. Those golden ornaments. Now, the reindeer, it was not only the Siberian shaman that loved the Amanita muscaria, it was also the reindeer. And these people, man, these guys, they were not stupid. They understood the science, the way things work. And Amanita muscaria, well, let's just put it this way, guys. This mushroom, you could eat it, you could piss in a bowl, and you could drink it. I'm sorry, this is a little bit disgusting, but it was done by the shaman. You could piss in a bowl, drink it, piss in a bowl, drink it, and you would keep getting the effect. Okay. Sorry to disturb you there. But the reindeer had a very big likeness. They really liked the Amanita muscaria mushrooms, so they would also eat them. And the shaman knew what happened with this. So when he would find the urine of the reindeer. Now, there's a lot of symbolism here, guys, between Santa, the reindeer, so forth and so on. We're going to get into, so pay attention. But he would take the snow. Don't eat the golden snow. Hey, guess what? That golden snow, what to the Siberian shaman, was sacred. So not only would these red ornaments with white polka dots would he put upon the Christmas tree, he would also hang the golden balls, strings through them. And on he went, and they would be eating them. He'd be riding, going on his, the sled, being pulled there by the deer. They've eaten the mushrooms. He's eating the mushrooms. I mean, they are getting. I mean, there's this whole euphoria that goes on. Now, let's go back the reverse trip. As the shaman comes back, he collects these things. He collects mushrooms that he has hung from the boughs of these conifer trees, these evergreen trees. He collects these golden balls of wee from the reindeer that also possess the chemicals that are in the mushroom. Those are sacred. Those are sacred. And so he gets back to his village. You go back, you got these structures. The wood structures that are lined with deer skin, reindeer skin. And it is what we call a yurt. Now, up in Siberia, in this time of year, around the winter solstice, what are you looking at, man? Lots of snow. Can't go into the front door. No, you can't go into the front door to, as the shaman, distribute the sacrament. So you go up through, you go in, you go down through the smoke hole, where they would have for the smoke for the fire to go out, which usually there was a ladder there. And what you would hang these mushrooms which had been partially dried. These mushrooms that had been partially dried, you would hang them to dry for the rest of the night. For the rest of the night over the fireplace in a stocking. Now that is the root. That is the root of the imagery. Now let's get into what does all of that imagery mean? Hey, this is a innocent society. This is the way they did things. The early followers of Jesus, they had an innocent society. They had the way they did things. But then, what do you always have? You always have the controllers that come in and want to manipulate the situation. But long before the Siberian shamans did this thing, yes, we had the manipulation of the situation. We did have this manipulation of the situation. And so the Siberian shaman became to be known as, he was Odin, he was Ra, he was Osiris, he was that rising sun. He was that rising sun. And to give you a few examples of this, let's see, in Holland, Santa Claus was known as Sinterklaas. Sinterklaas, who was related to Odin, who Odin is also related to Osiris. He had a long white beard and rode a horse, but differed in his appearance. He had two assistants. These were called Black Pete's, who were the ones who actually delivered the gifts to the children if they were good. However, if they were bad, they were put into the sacks. Yay, if you were naughty, if you think any presents, you were put in the sacks and taken to Spain. As the author goes on to say, thus Sinterklaas was not necessarily kindly to children. In order to influence Sinterklaas, children would leave. In order to, in Holland, in order to influence this Santa Claus creature, they would leave oats for his horse. I thought he had a reindeer, okay? Huh? They would leave oats for his horse in their boots by the door. And in Holland, he is celebrated as Sinterklaas. Sinterklaas. On December the 6th. And of course, in English countries, Santa Claus became Father Christmas. But going back to look at the whole Santa Claus thing, to sort of break this down, Santa Claus, the Siberian shaman, the New Age line that encompasses a lot of these things. The tree of life. The tree of life. And that rising, why does there have to be a star at the top of the Christmas tree? We'll talk about that meaning of Christmas here in a minute. Why does there have to be a star? That is the rising sun. That is that rising star, my friends. that is that North Star, whatever it may be at any time. That one that is worshipped, that fallen angel man. You know his name? You know what's that guy's name. You know his name. And we decorate these trees. We do this, and there's a very, which later we'll talk about, man, there's a very deep meaning as far as this tree of life that these Kabbalists, these false Jews talk about. And even how, at one time, remember, man, I remember when I was a kid, what would we put on the Christmas tree? Pine cones. Pine cones. Why did we put pine cones on the Christmas tree? The pine cone goes back once again. It is that whole, I guess you could say, the whole symbology of the hive. Looks like a beehive. Everything is interconnected. There are many symbols that are used by the secret societies. And you have to learn them all, man. They're all around you. I live in the southeast, man. I see these things every day. You can go into a national battlefield and you see these things right in front of your face. Let that aside. We're not going to go off on a tangent, man. Hey, Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when you can catch me go off on a tangent. But these shows Monday through Friday. Paranormal Times Radio, 1 hour from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. More of an educational thing, man, to make people actually understand me. What are you doing? Who are you worshiping? What holiday are you truly celebrating? The Saturnalian festival is what basically Christianity is. Or the whole idea of Christmas is based around. And Christianity has nothing to do with an individual named Jesus, or Yeshua, or Isa, whatever you want to call him. But just like Easter has nothing to do. Easter has nothing to do with that guy. It has to do with Ishtar. In the earlier Babylonian version, Ishtar comes from the moon in a giant egg. Their goddess Ishtar comes from the moon in a giant egg. Ishtar, wake up. This whole so-called Christian idea of Easter comes from the same source. It's the Babylonian goddess Ishtar. Semiramis. Tammuz. Tammuz. Who was Semiramis' husband? Nimrod. Who is Nimrod? Santa Claus, Osiris, Odin, Ra. All of these individuals. They set up new paradigms, man. They set up new paradigms over and over and over again in order to influence our minds. Now back to the whole Christmas thing. They have done this over and over and over again. They have influenced people's minds. Jesus was born in October, and he was a teacher. He wasn't born in December, and he was not a sun god. And he didn't have a thick red suit with white rim. Oh no, where did that red suit with white rim come from Santa Claus? I was trying to save this for later, but, truly, where did that whole suit come from Santa Claus? Now, what came right before that? In the early 1900s, people didn't get presents on Christmas, man. It was unheard of. And then Mr. Clement Moore, with his, on the night before Christmas, a visit from St. Nicholas poem. he sort of opened the door. And then came an individual, an artist, an artist for hire, by the name of Haddon Sundblom, who was hired by a soft drink company who at the time put cocaine in their drink by the name of Coca-Cola, to create an image of St. Nicholas with the exact same colors of their soft drink can and bottle and image. Hey, Bill, have a couple of smiles. Shut up. Oh, but seriously, man. Seriously, and this is what we recognize. Yeah, this is what we recognize as Christmas. And people recognize and they talk about, the birth of Jesus and the birth of Jesus and the wise men and stuff like that, and they don't even understand who the hell they're talking about. They don't even read, and they read their own biblical text to understand these things. And so, my friends, let's see. Let's see. Santa Claus. The elves. Now, these were these black peeps. And this was another thing that was misconstrued. These individual elves, man. Elves are not little bitty, look at the whole war. Elves are not little bitty things. And if you really want to get down to it, and you really want to understand, and if you really want to do cross-reference in religion, elves are fallen angels. That's exactly what they are. Look, like I said, look at the Book of Enoch, the Bible, all these things, and look at elves are fallen angels. And they are doing the bidding of the sun god. Mm-hmm. Interesting, huh? But yes, they are doing the bidding of that sun god, creating the illusion. Creating the illusion. Now, if you want to see a movie that, or read a book that depicts what I'm talking about the elves not being a little bitty guy, just look at Lord of the Rings. Look at Lord of the Rings, pretty big guys. But no, these, we have so many different terms that are used that people just adopt. People just adopt like Santa Claus. Like Santa Claus and Santa Claus. Now, when we get back, the guy that brought this all about, St. Nicholas. Now, was he the guy that brought it all about? Actually, perhaps not. When we get back, we'll talk about this, and this is Paranoid Times Radio here on the Crazy Wolf Radio Network. 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. We shall return. And this is, this is Sixth Sense with Astrotheology.
it goes back to the ancient Mayans, the calendars and sundials. Most religions that you pray to and say it like your first child is hostile. The elders elevate, they congregate and hate on Saturday. So you give your ears there, so now you got your mate. Before the Julians who had a god of Rome, and the things the Middle East and Egypt that will be shown. The head of a woman is Virgo, the body of a lion. The blessings of the time of horror, so no ass who's Orion. Now look at Pisces, the son of God was born. Look at the pose that the Vatican shows, they rule the world. All astrotheology. When you pray and sing to God, that's pagan. It's all astrology. You don't have to follow me. So look into the books and the facts. It's all astrology. Astrotheology. When you pray and sing to God, that's pagan. It's all astrology. You don't have to follow me. So look into the books and the facts. It's all astrology. Roman Gavi truck a dollar bill to give me euros. The vote's protected by Swiss bank commandos. These assholes. The sin has Aquarius, fast and slow. Psychological warfare with a handle, they dismantle. But scared tactics, the superstition movies like The Basket. The Mel Gibson, the fiction for horror for fake Christians. You pay attention to the Vinci Code deception. I start the mind detecting the lyrical weapon. When I don't devour nothing, these women showing much info. Lincoln, what you thinking? Who's the evil, get the demon speaking. Sex on rock and roll, control your soul. The new world order shattered on your asshole and in your soul. I'll rip out your retina, then dissect and dissect. Six sense and sicker like insects. Image astrotheology, so look at the economy. Break your fucking rappers like pottery. Yeah, astrotheology. When you pray and think that God that's pagan, it's all astrology. You don't have to follow me. So look into the books and the facts, it's all astrology. Astrotheology. When you pray and think that God that's pagan, it's all astrology. You don't have to follow me. So look into the books and the facts, it's all astrology. Now if you don't peep the chorus, I come like a thief in the night. I sold the 12 hours like my name was Horace. It sounds like mumbo jumbo, but y'all believe in nothing like Disney movies and elephants like Dumbo. Afghanistan remake from Rambo and put the massage in purple. And best believe these motherfuckers take the mercy. And national missiles of person tissue. And contradiction is official. Conniving evil, it's all criminal. DC, a university, satanic astrology. So piece of ritual was based on the city, the Saturn, the sun. Astrology formation was one. I spoke the energies of landmark, the Exodus trust. Astrotheology. When you pray and think in God, that's pagan. It's all astrology. You don't have to follow me. So look into the books and the facts. It's all astrology. Astrotheology. When you pray and think in God, that's pagan. It's all astrology. You don't have to follow me. So look into the books and the facts. It's all astrology.
Welcome back to the Paranoid Times Radio, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. And then here on Crazy Wolf Radio, the Crazy Wolf Radio Network, Saturday, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the Crazy Wolf Radio Network, and the Crazy Wolf Radio Show, on the Crazy Wolf Radio Network. One and the same, all the same. Where at that time, man, we get a little bit crazy. We examine the news of the week. We tear this media matrix apart. But Monday through Friday, man, we get into the esoteric, the occult, these hidden things that have been kept from our eyes, but are now, with the internet, man, with all of this information that's coming to the surface, we have it right now in front of our face. And back to the story at hand. Old Saint Nick, excuse me. Now, who was that individual? That this character. Now, we can say, if I take you through this journey tonight, we can say that it is the Siberian shaman, but that would only be a reference for symbolism. the character of Saint Nicholas. The individual who is modeled, who the model of Santa Claus, was based, was an individual by the name of Nicholas of Myra. He was a 4th century bishop of Myra, a Greek bishop of Myra. He was a man of great wealth, but in private, he secretly didn't want anybody to know. He gave away his worldly possessions to the poor, to the needy. There's one story of a father that had 3 daughters who could not, they didn't have a dowry, man. They didn't have a dowry. And in that day, man, well, let me tell you, that in the 4th century, let me tell you what happened. He didn't have a dowry. Well, guess what? You became a prostitute. You became a prostitute. This Nicholas of Myra, knowing their situation, knowing what they were going to secretly in the dark of night, threw 3 very large sacks of gold into their father's house. But following his death, following Nicholas of Myra's death, his bones were moved. Remember, this guy, he's in Greece. He's in Greece. His bones are moved to Italy in 1087 AD. And what happened there? Well, there was a cult. There was a feminine worshiping cult at the time called Pascal. Let's see if I can pronounce this right. Pascal Epifania, a female deity who was known. Let's listen here. A female deity who was known to fill children's socks with gifts. This shrine, her shrine, became a center for Saint Nicholas. And on December the 6th, not the 25th, which is the anniversary of Saint Nicholas's death, Nicholas of Myra, this 4th century bishop of Myra in Greece. And this was his birthday. But then we see how it moved northward. Go north, you diabolical man. As Christianity, not the teachings of Jesus, but as Christianity moved northward, this cult of Saint Nick, was adopted by the Germans, was adopted by the Celtics. Then they put Saint Nicholas's persona into Odin, the chief Norse god. Now, here's where we go deep, man. Saint Nick, who is put in now, he takes on the appearance of Odin up here in these Norse lands. And Odin, who has a long white beard and rides in the sky on, no, he doesn't have a sleigh, and he doesn't have a sleigh, and he doesn't have reindeer, and he doesn't have 8 of them. Odin rides on Sleipnir, Sleipnir, an 8-legged horse. Man, I bet that horse has to have some coordination, man. He rides on Sleipnir, an 8-legged horse, across the sky. But with him is this female deity. Now, once again, what we're looking at here is Semiramis and Nimrod. But with him was Bacta, this female deity who went from house to house to give blessings or curses as she visited each home. Jubak later became another version of Odin, who went to houses to give gifts to children. Hey guys, am I screwing up your Santa Claus image yet? Early, when we were young, we said, oh yeah, we're stupid, Santa Claus, blah, blah, blah. Now we know our parents do it. Give me more. No, seriously guys, you gotta wake up. All of these things, Easter, Christmas, All Saints Day, all of the Catholic holy days, they're all pagan holidays. They all have to do with the worship of diabolical beings. As well as November the 5th is every 4 years. Really, guys, you want to keep worshiping at the altar of idiots, or do you want to wake up? Like I said, I realized Santa Claus was a bunch of BS about 5 or 6 years, man. At 5 or 6 years of age. But only in my 30s did I realize how much BS it was. And how they had used these New Agers that put forth their New Age deception. They used so many things. They used so many images, so many words. So to go back with that image, remember that image from 1931. That image painted by an artist by the name of Haddon Sudblum, who was contracted by the Coca-Cola Company to produce a character that reflected the color of their product. But remember that story before that. The visit from St. Nicholas. It was the night before Christmas. It was the moment before realizing that you have been lied to. That Santa Claus deception is very deep. It really is. Ho, ho, ho. I've looked at some of these New Agers. They're like, oh, yeah, ho, 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 because he was on mushrooms and he was laughing and his cheeks were flushed red. And they will use this innocent culture, the Siberian, Tongsi culture up there. Where the shamans come from, they will use it and they will say, oh, this is where it comes from. No, this is the imagery that they co-opted, that they put up on something else. Just like Constantine, how he co-opted. Jesus was impaled, guys. Look at the Greek translation, Xylon. It's a pail running somebody through. It wasn't a cross. Only when Constantine saw that cross in the sky. And did he see it during a battle? Did he see it in a dream? Did he make it up? Who knows? But that's where you get the cross. Ishtar is where you get your bunny eggs. Christmas is where you get your Saturnalian celebration. And the rest of us, whether we be an indigenous society or just a regular civilization, we get our beliefs co-opted, we get the bullshit that they recycle from it slammed down our throat, and in the meantime, we enjoy the lie. December the 25th is coming up. I have no intentions of not celebrating this day with any family members I'm around. But I have every intention of never celebrating it in a way that the New World Order, the New Age agenda, the New World religion, the New Age religion wants me to celebrate it. This is why I do not give presents on their Christmas Day. Their Christ, oil to anoint the wicked, mess cakes that are made out of certain things to anoint you. The Babylonian goddess Semiramis, with her golden cup to give you poison. Until you understand the wording, until you understand Christian has nothing to do with Jesus, until you understand that Esau has nothing to do with this guy, and until you understand that terrorism has nothing to do with Muhammad and meditation has nothing to do with Buddha, you will be lost. And so, my friends, let's see, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. And to finish up the show, this is the Paranoid Times Radio here on the Crazy Wolf Radio Network, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. But yes, it's all been co-opted, man. Islam, Buddhism, Christianity, if you want to call it that, Judaism, Hinduism. They have all been told lies. Lies that have been created as the truth that the founders of those religions started. Just like your modern day politicians and the lies that they create out of the truths that the founders put forth. This is Paranoid Times Radio. And we're going to play some Turbulent Times from The Infidel. Check out The Infidel. ReverbNation.com/Infidel.
Lyrics for anorexic style. Nothing satisfies much of the brain. Hook them again, gang what they look to gain. Total control. Running over, keep masses coming back. Over the door, fastest sound soon in the past. Pretend the train to the camp on the range. Now he's back in the change. How that was his name. Well, was the camp just my labor? Well, free will, business, and freedom is just a dream. There's only one way in and no way out. This is your home now. There's no place like home. I'm ready for martial law with his coming. Underground, what you think about running? Evil is coming. They know you take 3 steps. No extra man in the game. There's no game reset for the game set match where your face at. Your face there. You back feeling camp. They call it playpen. You wonder why the state claims sovereignty. Cause they don't want thunder or love from better of love. Metal and slugs, metal my thugs. Suited and suited. I keep the deal. Inhumanity they won't reveal. They ain't better than us. They fear it, they do what they do. The U.S. as we knew it is no longer in view. Prolonging the truth is a rock to the mind. Politicians and suits are just truth in God. Unvarnished truth unearthed on my line. Cut turbulent times, crawford turbulent rise. If you are religious and want to pray, you can do so in the comfort of your own containment unit for sinful credit purposes. Consider it paying tithes, so you can worship the state for his beautiful bread. Let this take your time. The Disclosure.
Hey, are your ideas for global takeover falling apart? Are you losing sleep over humanity's mass awakening? Is false flag terrorism fizzling out? Global warming gone cold on you? Do you want those global warming deniers to just go away? Are all your phony economic crises being exposed? Is the price of gold defying all your attempts to fix it? Isn't killing the Gulf of Mexico and poisoning millions of people reducing the population fast enough for you? War, famine, and GM food not getting it done either? No? Well, don't give up. Get disclosure. You'll be able to unite mankind with a phony problem and enslave them with one world government and taxes. Yes, disclosure. Your one-stop shop for full spectrum dominance. But wait, there's more. Sign up for Disclosure today and you'll get Problem Reaction Solution absolutely free. That's right, absolutely free. Act now to be entered into our fabulous propaganda prize draw. Disclosure. Our surveys show that 9 out of 10 world leaders prefer it. Disclosure. Cleansing the minds of the unwashed masses with a tantalizing, terrifying, taxable new reality. I'm only going to say this 3 times. Disclosure! Disclosure! Aliens may or may not be real. Your home may be at risk from those possible aliens. No major credit cards accepted because there is only one currency under a one world government. Prepare to die screaming, probably. Disclosure is compatible with Project Bluebeam. Do not employ critical thinking.
Okay, welcome back to Paranoid Times Radio. And tomorrow night, man, you get a full hour, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Paranoid Times Radio. We're going to get into the Iron Mountain Project. Very interesting, man, very interesting. Very, very interesting. You want to know why we are here where we are in this day and time? Check out tomorrow night. And then Wednesday night. This will sort of, in a way, be a continuation of tonight's show. We are going to go in depth into the Babylonian mysteries about Queen Semiramis, Nimrod, their son Tammuz, who was supposed to be Nimrod. This rising sun paradigm, the rising sun. And it's not O-N, it's U-N. But they want you to think it's O-N because it's U-N, because the Christians say it's U-N and O-N, blah, 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 blah. And you just keep spinning your head like the Exorcist, like Linda Blair, thinking, spitting pea soup. You know what I'm saying, man. It's time for the mass herds of sheeple to wake up. Yeah, I told someone earlier today, I like Jesus, I love Jesus. I really can't stand Christians. These false God worshippers, these individuals that put the image, just like they put the image of their dying God, Mithra, Baal, Lucifer, the rising sun. Why would they do it over an individual, whether it be Mohammed, Buddha, Yeshua, who was who many know as Jesus. Many know as Jesus, and the Siberian shamans. You got to wonder, man. I'd like to go up there and say, "Hey guys, do you know how these jackballs that have influenced history have used your image? Hey, think we ought to put them in contact with Coca-Cola? Who knows, man?" This has been Paranoid Times Radio. We'll be on tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See me, man. And, of course, we'll be on for the rest of the week until Friday, until Saturday. Tune in 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time till 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Crazy Wolf Radio, where we get nutsy, man. We're off the chain. And I've never been on a chain. What am I talking about? Take care, guys. We'll see you tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Paranoid Times Radio. Peace.
And I'm telling you, be prepared for a major attack. But it won't be Osama bin Laden. It will be those behind the New World Order. I wonder what Osama bin Laden's targets are supposed to be. They must do something terrible in order to stop this backlash and regain the sympathy of the mass herds of sheeple.
It is the hour of the time. Sound the alarm. Behold the pale horse. And death who rides upon the secret societies, the government corruption. Take a look at his death. Bill was onto something. From his first encounters with UFOs, Cooper had a mission to reveal facts we should know. This man's passion for rationale was no joke. He made a case to wake those who listen when he spoke. To take a look at the undeniable facts. Just 2801, he predicted the attack. He knew they'd be praised on Osama bin Laden. How the fuck do you claim his knowledge psychotic? How can you judge his love for our nation? See, he was a Vietnam vet decorated by the Navy. Bill read between the lines, found the connection. With the will and need, he spoke of insurrection. Against the Illuminati, have enough to hear and serve. A shortwave radio, the weapons are preferred. He was labeled as a conspiracy theorist and turned the table and told the government to be a hot Bill Cooper was concerned with America's betrayal and the New World Order is the coffin in the nail. The wealthy will prevail. One nation under guard through the use of language. They promote fraud. They being every organization of death. All one in the same like the IRS and BTF. He didn't care if you thought he was full of lies. He dared to reveal what was right before our eyes. The worst enemy, the one who hides in plain sight. Freemasons built the wall inside those heights. Are hidden mathematics of ancient mysticism. If you aren't a part of the craft, you're a prison. The contradictions are there, so one is seen. Like the pyramids and eyes on the current sea. These are just a disguise. Bet your fucking ass Bill knew the true nature of the threat like bad hair. The depth of this country is not open for debate. Our forefathers' foresight could not play tricks. The powers that be, we need a clean slate. Reinstate the beliefs to separate church and state. To move forward, we need to take a step back. I agree with Bill, repeal and compact. We need to examine the whole system that strangles the people we are barely living. Milton William Cooper fought for our rights, and because of that, the government took his life. right, set him up to knock him down. Straight injustice, 15 hours on the ground before E&P touched him. But his work lived on, and people woke up. They carried the torch of freedom stolen from us. And what did the media report about this? Bill was part of militias as a medic terrorist. The fourth branch of the system smeared his name, and branding him a threat was the government's campaign. It seems your plan galvanized people to fight. Cause when you kill Bill, you prove his words were right. Prove his words were right. Prove his words were right. Prove his words were right.
I only have one message to give you. I don't care what you think of me. I don't care what you call me. I do care what you do with this information because it is important to our survival as a species. What happens to me is of no consequence, and I knew that when I started this. Someday I was going to have to get up and say this whether I wanted to or not, whether I was afraid or not. Now I am here, and now it is done, and I feel an overwhelming relief. You now have the information.